Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How's your Sunday going? Can you give me a sound check, please? Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay, I just need a sound check before I can go on. Right. Thanks, Vartika. Uh, okay, great. Thanks for confirming that you can hear me. So, welcome to the Insta Live session. It's a happy Sunday for me as well to be addressing you all. And as you can see, currently I'm sitting at the ISB Mohali campus. I wanted to do this outdoors, not sitting in my hostel or apartment. I wanted to come outside and just show you a glimpse into the ISB life. So, so yeah, this is the ISB Mohali campus. I'm currently sitting in a place called Sarovar, which happens to be the eating area where we assemble for our all of our meals actually. And this is the open seating, and there's an indoor seating as well. I'll show that to you in a moment. And right behind me is the main campus building. If you could recognize, maybe you've seen it in the pictures somewhere. So that's the main building, a CAD block, administrative block. Incidentally, we also came to ISB only a week back, and we had our quarantine period. So, of course, you see me unmasked right now because currently I'm sitting in an isolated place and there's no people around. That's why I can unmask myself. But otherwise, we are following all restrictions inside the campus. We are always supposed to be masked whenever we are moving around. But yes, the campus facilities are accessible to us. In some time, I'll also show you the recreation center, as we call it, where we have the table tennis, squash courts, gym, the swimming pool. Uh, I'll also show you our eating area, the Infinity Corridor, which supposedly is one of the best vicinity in ISB Mohali campus. By the way, how many of you are aware that ISB has a campus in Mohali as well? Are you aware? Okay, I can see a lot of people are still joining in. So, just yes, thanks. Please keep interacting. I would love to talk to you. Let's make it a two-way conversation. I'll just quickly take your questions also in some time. So yeah, ISB follows one school to campus policy. So this is the relatively newer campus of ISB, which is in Mohali, near to Chandigarh in Punjab. Uh, Rakesh asks, how big is Mohali campus compared to Hyderabad? Quite big, actually. It's a 80-acre spread, and we at Mohali are a relatively smaller cohort. So it's about 330 people staying in here right now, who are part of the PGP cohort. So the campus for those 330 people is like sufficiently huge, or I could say like there's ample space to move around and find your favorite spots. Okay, so we are going ahead with the questions. All right, I can see a lot of questions being put in. So Taupe Queen asks me, what was your GMAT score? So actually I was not a GMAT aspirant, GMAT taker. I actually got into ISB through my GRE score. I did start preparation for GMAT but then switched to GRE later. And since I think most of you are here right now, I can actually quickly introduce myself as well. So, as you know, my name is Daksh, and I am currently a student of the PGP cohort at ISB. And my background, so I've completed my law from National Law University, Raipur, HNLU, that is. And after completing my law, I've actually worked in the education industry where I was training students for various entrance exams after 12th, and I was managing the business vertical for all the undergrad programs with a renowned test prep company. So I decided to take the GRE exam like during the first lockdown. When all of us got more time to study and sit back at home, and when work from home started basically. So I decided to start applying to the 1 year MBA programs, and ISB of course was my top preference. And I'm so glad to be sitting here right now. Every day it feels just so, I feel so grateful that I have got this opportunity to be a part of this amazing B school and the amazing cohort. So GRE, yeah, so I took the GRE exam, but of course you have the option to write GMAT or GRE as a part of your application. So my GRE score was 326 on a scale of 340. Okay, so let me actually move around a little and show you the rest of the campus as we speak. Okay, but keep the questions coming in. Keep the questions coming in. I'll keep answering them as I move along. I hope that there's no noise. I hope there is no disturbance in hearing me out. In case there is any disturbance, just let me know. Okay, Sati asks me, are you in GSB? Yes, I am a part of the Graduate Student Board, which is the student council, uh, which represents our interest to the ISB authorities. So I am the admissions coordinator in ISB as a part of the Marketing and Communications Council. So the Marketing and Communication Council itself handles a lot of activities, one part of which is to help ISB attract the next cohort for admissions. Are ISB Mohali and Hyderabad admissions done the same way? Absolutely. Absolutely no difference. In fact, even in terms of, not just in terms of admission process, but the whole year experience, the placements, the teaching, the quality of professors, everything is just the same at ISB Hyderabad and Mohali. And you'll be amazed, whether you're in Hyderabad or the Mohali campus, I am sure you'll have a good time. Okay, what else? Love from Chhattisgarh. Thank you, Jishan. I've also lived in Chhattisgarh for my law school for 5 years. I was in Raipur. Okay. So you might see that the campus overall is a little quiet. Today uh, it's a Sunday, although but we are caught up with a lot of assignments. In fact, I myself took a break from the assignments that we were caught up with since morning. So I took a time out for doing this Insta Live, and that's why you see that there are no people around. On that side, we have the basketball court and tennis courts, volleyball also. We also have a football ground right here. So pretty much everything is available on campus. We have our grocery store. There's a huge swimming pool, and let me tell you, we are also equally excited to jump into the pool and probably just make use of all the facilities that we have got here. It's a 1 year program, so it's very fast paced. So we have to make time. Time management is the key to survive at ISB. Top Queen, my GRE score was 326. Okay, Chetan Jalan asks me, hey Daksh, in the application form, what do you fill under the reporting manager and HR manager column if I'm self-employed? Chetan, I'm not very sure about this question. So what you can do is you can just write a mail to pgp@isb.edu. You'll get a quick reply from them. Is Gmat difficult than GRE? We can't say that way. We definitely can't say that way. Each exam has its own difficulty level in terms of the various components. Basically, some of you might find GMAT math to be a tad bit difficult than the GRE math, but on the other hand, GRE verbal is also a challenge because you have to go through so many words. You have to understand the meaning of the words as well as the context in which to put those words. So I can't really compare GMAT and GRE like that, because although I have taken both the exams, so I think it depends on individual's preference. You should take both the exams. You should take a diagnostic test for both the exams. If you're not very sure whether I should go for GMAT and GRE, take a diagnostic test. Just take a mock test and see for yourself which exam actually is more comfortable for you, where you can improve yourself and perform better. What factors are used to grant uh, scholarship to students? So, Rohit, there are scholarships, two types of scholarship. There are need-based scholarships and there are merit-based scholarships. It depends on which scholarship you are applying to. So, of course, need-based is when you want financial support. You maybe are finding it difficult to meet the fee requirements, so you can apply for the need based. Merit based scholarship, on the other hand, are based, of course, on what you have done, what you know what are the various highlights on your profile that get you the merit. So each scholarship has a different eligibility criteria. I would suggest that you go through the ISB website, and this is my suggestion for everyone who's listening right now. If you're applying to ISB, you should spend a lot of time on the ISB website, at least 4 to 5 hours. You should go through the website, go through the PGP program, understand the components, understand what is being offered. It's very important. Jayant, can you elaborate? GMAT score. Thanks, Yash, for the confirmation that I can be heard loud and clear. All right. Does your undergrad college matter for ISB YLP? So it does. It does. Of course, if your undergrad is from one of the finest, one of the premier institutes in India, it's a highlight on your profile. So it's definitely one of the positives, I would say, on your application to have done your undergrad from a great college. But of course, on the contrary, conversely, it's not necessary to have your undergrad from a top college. If you can still submit a very good application with other factors being rated well on your profile. Okay. So let me go a little inside. Let me put on my mask and just show you the recreation center of ISB Mohali, where we have our gym, pool table, and like a lot of other facilities. Let me just quickly show that to you. Okay, still with me? Let's begin a little bit of our campus tour. How's the campus allotted to selected candidates? So Ananya, campus allotment is something which you can submit your preference for. So you can decide whether you want to go for Hyderabad or Mohali. So your preference is taken into account, but the final decision rests with ISB as to which campus you will be assigned to. What they try to do is that they want to have same or at least similar experience across both the campuses. So we try to have diversity in all, in terms of all backgrounds should be there in both the cohorts, whether it's Mohali or the class at Hyderabad. So in doing that, ISB decides, where should they send you based on your background and profile. Right, guys, so this is the recreation center. Let me actually show you the entrance. So this is our recreation center, and this is one of the interesting corridors. There's another one just like this, which we call the Infinity Corridor. We'll make a trip there as well. So let me show you the recreation center first. So we have entered the recreation center. First, we are entering the squash and the pool and the table tennis room. So this beautiful place is the first section of our recreation room. Right? There are 2 foosball tables. And as I told you, today you are finding them empty because a lot of us are still stuck with assignment submissions. We have our deadlines tomorrow. So you'd not find a lot of people right now, but come on a weekday evening when it's a routine day, you'll definitely find many people here. Okay, so moving on to the questions. Was Mohali your campus preference? Yes, I did opt for Mohali as my campus preference. So I've stayed a lot in Bombay. So I was working in Bombay for the last 6 years, and I wanted to come to the north side. So although I not have, uh, you know, would not have had any problem with being allotted the Hyderabad campus also. But between the two, I thought might as well just get some flavor of the north side as well. Okay, so this is our beautiful gym. I worked out here for the first time yesterday, uh, and I can say that it's my happy place, as it might be for a lot of you. And as you can see, we have all the possible equipments that you can think of. So it's a brilliant experience, just being here. Right, so this is the recreation center. Oh, and actually, let me give you a view of the pool here. We have a swimming pool right outside the gym. So here's the swimming pool. It's ready with water. I think there was some maintenance work going on, but now from tomorrow onwards, we'll be able to access this swimming pool and all the facilities basically. So what is the GRE range accepted by ISB? Sai Krishna, you can check this on the website. ISB website provides a lot of details on the factors that they consider and what's the average range. But as far as I remember, I think it's around 313 to 332. That's the range that is coming to my mind. But you can just check it on the website once. So as we keep saying in a lot of our sessions, you might have attended other ISB sessions also in the past. And let me tell you, score in GMAT and GRE is not the only factor. So do try and get your best score possible, but it's the overall application that you make, the overall docket that you submit that determines whether or not you will have a chance to be at ISB. Mohit, how to start the preparation? I would suggest that work backwards from deadlines. This worked for me. So I had been contemplating joining ISB for the last 2-3 years. And let me tell you, procrastination is like omnipresent. I think most of us, decide to do an MBA, want to do an MBA, wish to do an MBA, but we take a lot of time to actually sit down and bring it into action, actually start studying and working on our profiles, working on our applications. So the sooner you can come out of procrastination, the sooner you can start, the better it is. Round 1 deadline is around the corner, so if you're not ready for it, maybe aim for round 2, which will be somewhere in mid-December. But work backwards from the deadlines. You'll at least need, I would say, 1.5 to 2 months for GMAT GRE preparation. Depends from person to person, but at least this is what you'll need. After that, you also need like a month's time to work on your application. So work backwards and start as early as you can. Okay, so now we are here at a place called Sarovar, and by the way, this is what we refer to as the infinity corridor. So as you can see, you probably understand why is it called the infinity corridor. It seems to be just running infinitely. So yeah, that's the beautiful ISB Mohali, and that's where I was sitting and talking to you right now. Yeah, and this is our place called Sarovar, where we come for all our meals. An amazing set of options. You have a wide variety of things that you can order and eat. So Sarovar basically is the common mess. It's open from I think 9 in the morning till 10:30 in the night, And it's not like you can't get food after that. There is another cafe, there is another place where we can actually go for uh, late night meals. So this is our Sarovar team. Yeah, you can find my cohort mates, my classmates sitting right here. Guys, can you just... So this is the PGP class of 2022, sitting right here from ISB Mohali. That's Ashish. You are Manisha. Anchal. That's Sohail. So since we have also come out of the quarantine recently, I'm also meeting my batchmates for the first time. So did you have a good meal, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
And I was just telling them that how Sunday is not feeling like a Sunday because of the assignments. So I think we are all caught up with that. All right, anyways, have a good time. Yeah, so that was Sarovar for you. What are the chances to get admission in second round? Neha, anytime, whether you apply in round 1, round 2, round 3, chances completely depend on your application, what kind of profile you bring, what kind of diversity you bring to the PGP cohort. So it's upon you when you want to apply. There is no distinction as such. Unless you're looking for scholarships. So, of course, in the round 1, the scholarships are definitely, the chances of getting a scholarship are much higher. My interview experience was great. I remember I had a panel with 3 ISB alums. And I think this will be a different story in itself. The whole interactions, the whole alumni network that we have at ISB, you get introduced to this network the moment you are admitted. The moment our college started, we had sessions with our alumni. And as you might be aware, ISB alumni are placed in almost all the top corporates. In fact, they are founders. We have at least 3 to 4 founders of startups who have entered the unicorn category, whom I can think of, and there are many alums out there who have made a name for themselves and a name for ISB in the community. So what ISB does is, after the submission of your applications, the interviews are taken by ISB alumni, and they try and judge, evaluate you, your profile, your compatibility with the college, the community. So it was a great experience. As you would expect for a B school interview, I was quizzed on why do I want to do an MBA, what is the gap that I'm trying to fill, what is the reason that I've applied to ISB, what would I do for ISB, and what can ISB do for me. I had to be very clear on these questions, responses to these questions. If we have one backlog in UG, will our chances in ISB go away? Not really. I mean, you just have to string your story together. The story overall should come out really well. You should have a justification, in case there is a low point, in case there is something that you feel is problematic. You should have some response to justify it. You should be able to say why, in case it comes up during the admission process, you should be able to say why you have a backlog or why you have a low grade in your undergrad. GRE range for ISB, I just mentioned Bala Sai Krishna, but I think you can excuse me. You can check the website once on the PGP portal of ISB. You'll find the details pertaining to GRE score. I think, as I remember it, it's somewhere in the range of 313 to 332. Shivanshu, is it easy to change domains after 3 years of experience? Depends on what you have done before ISB, what you have done ISB, what you want to do after ISB. But yes, I can say majority of the students who come here are able to shift not just their function but also their industry. I think 70% is the statistic that, you know, 70% are the number of people who have been able to change their industry or the function or both after ISB. Is GRE or GMAT tough for a BBA student? Just Shifali, no. I would say give a shot to both. Just take a mock test for both. See which exam seems more comfortable to you, and accordingly just go for it. What kind of work ex did you have before starting in ISB? Okay, Lubna, so I love to talk about myself and what I've done before ISB. I'm very proud of that also. So I was working with a renowned education company in Bombay, and we were into test prep for various competitive exams, including GMAT GRE. I was managing the business for their undergrad test prep programs. I was preparing students for the entrance courses after 12th, entrance exams after 12th pertaining to law, BBA, hotel management, mass media. So I myself had a lot of experience with test prep. And by qualification, I'm a lawyer, but I was working in the education sector for the last 6 years. Uh, Tanay Khanna, how's the transition for you from studying law to management coming along? Tanay, I don't know if you are a lawyer as well, but it's been well, yeah, it's been smooth. And I've never shied away from taking decisions which are not conventional, which are unconventional rather. Like people around told me that, why do you want to switch into something which you've not pursued? So, and I find, law studies, law education for me helped a lot. Although I did not get into the practice, I got into the education management field. uh, the law degree still helps me a lot. It taught me the way to do legal research, made me much more conscious as a citizen. uh, I still have some great resources, great tools in my arsenal for doing legal research. So it helps me. I think a business is made up of a lot of things, and legal law is also one part of them. So the transition, I think, has been really well because I think law school and B school, there are a lot of similarities also in the way we are taught professionally. Uh, so I think for me the transition happened the moment I had left law school and joined the education management field. So it's been great since then. What have been the best learnings for you at ISB? Rakesh asks me, how is ISB compared to other global B schools, top B schools? How about international companies coming for placements? Uh, okay, there are a lot of questions in one. Where do I start? So yes, ISB experience is very, very fast paced. You would probably not even realize when the time will just fly by like that. And at the end of that period, if you see when so for me it's been 3 months so far. Our course started in June, on the first week of June, and since then every day has been a new learning, not just in classes but even interacting with our study groups. So all of us are put together into smaller study groups, and you think before you've joined ISB that it'll be a journey for you alone. Like you have to chart out your path, you have to decide your goal, and you have to work on your own projects and assignments. But that's not the case. Once you come here, you realize that you're you know put into a study group, and all the assignments, majority of the assignments, you have to work with your study groups, and you don't get to choose your study groups. Study groups are assigned to you by ISB, and it's not necessary that you will get along with each and every member of your study group. Eventually you do become friends because you have to work with them for a substantial period of time during the year. But it's just like when you go to a corporate, when you join a new company, you don't get to choose your team, right? The team has already been assigned to you. You have to work with them. No matter whether you like someone or not, you have to still get along and work with them. So this also teaches you a lot, how to make the most of the experience, how to get along with people, how to work towards a common objective and still come out on top. So that is there. Otherwise, ISB learning is full of classes, assignments, peer-to-peer learning. There are the cohort itself is so diverse. People from every possible background that you can imagine: doctors, navy, army, merchant navy, hotel management professionals, fashion industry professionals, every person that you can think of from every possible background. So imagine the kind of discussions that we have in classrooms. Imagine the kind of discussions we have outside classrooms. It's just fantastic. uh, yeah, and as compared to global B schools, I think ISB is one college in India that I can say is able to give us that uh, really global, truly global experience. I think we've been taught by professors of the best B schools of the world. So Kellogg, MIT Sloan. We have, probably Ivy League professors also coming in as guest faculty. So I think overall, this overall pedagogy, the structure that ISB follows is truly global. So I I doubt in India if you can get an experience like this at a B school. How about international companies coming for placements? Of course, we have a lot of international placements as well. You can check out the details in the placement report. So, what ISB does is every year on the website, you will find the placement report of the previous cohort. So, your cohort 21 report has not come out yet. They've recently graduated, but you'll find them also very soon. But in the meantime, you can just check out the cohort 20 placement report. Interview experience tips for the same: just be real for Hardik. For the interview, just try not to be pretentious. Have justifications for the low points. Focus more on your strengths. Try to sell your profile overall. I mean, by selling, I mean, while you should have justifications for why something is not right or why something is problematic on your profile, at the same time you should try and move the conversation as much as possible towards your strengths. So if you can form a good rapport with the panelists and try and talk more about your high points, the highlights on your profile, that should work in your favor. Please, yes, hostel room. You want to see our hostel rooms? Okay, let me try if I can get there in some time. Okay, how to prep for the interview? So I've just covered that. A lot of questions around the interview prep. By the way, guys, after your application deadline is done, you will have to wait for a certain time. After that, you'll have to uh, you'll probably be getting a shortlist call if you're selected for the next round. In that meantime, in that time between your application deadline and the interview date, you can still start some basic preparation for the interview. As I said, achieve as much clarity as possible on why you want to do an MBA, where you are in your life right now, where do you want to reach, what's the long term goal, what's the short term goal, how will MBA bridge that gap that you're trying to fill, and why ISB, what is it that ISB will offer you that makes the whole experience worthwhile for you. So you have to be very, very clear in this aspect. And a lot of us are like that. I also was one of those people who thought that MBA sounds cool, MBA is really nice, maybe I should go for it. But really need to we really need to have a specific goal, of specific clarity. Why do you want to get there? Why do you want to be there? And what is it that you're trying to achieve? So like, MBA is not the answer to every problem in your career. That might as well just go for an MBA and life will become easier, better. Maybe yes, it'll become easier, maybe you'll earn more money, maybe you'll climb up the corporate ladder. But yes, you have to be certain that this is it, what you want to do, and you have to be certain on what you want to do. How much time did I spend for the application process? So Sajid, I remember, I think I was done with my GRE in 2 months, and I had spent about a month or a month and a half on my ISB application. It takes a lot of time to introspect, and I think all those of you who have already worked on your applications, you might have found it's so interesting, right? It's so interesting to look back, to go back in time and think of all those highlights, all those things that you have done in the past. Take a trip down the memory lane and come up with stories for your essays. So I think it was an exciting time for me as well, to look back on my law school journey and the career beyond. I felt very nostalgic during the application time. It was a very fun time. I still remember it. Do day scholars can study in ISB or compulsory hostel? I think, Shrifali, you are mandated to stay on campus. Although this year, considering the pandemic situation, ISB has also allowed people to attend the whole program from home. In case you don't want to come to the campus, you can attend the whole program online. Although I don't know how many people have actually exercised that option, because most of us are here on campus, and the campus is in a bubble right now. So none of us can actually leave the campus, and none of us, even the parents or even the family members, can't move in. So they are being very, very, we have to be very careful, and all precautions have been taken so that there is no, spread of the disease here in any way. Do we always get the campus that we put in the preference for? Komal, no, you don't. It depends on ISB. How do they see your profile, and where they find you to be a better fit, whether in Hyderabad or Mohali. But as I said, the whole experience is absolutely the same. So you don't really have to worry whether you get Hyderabad or the Mohali campus. You'll have a great experience nonetheless. Hi Daksh. Rakesh, I have answered your question. Sai, what are the standouts one can have in their application? So, Sai, as you might be aware that ISB evaluates the overall application on the basis of 5 factors. There is your ACAS, there is your Gmat score, there is your WorkX, there is your letter of recommendation, then there's the essays and the awards and achievements. So these are the 6 pillars of your application. You have to try and strengthen each pillar as much as you can. So try and write the best possible essays which put across your points very well, very specifically. Try to get a good GMAT or GRE score. It can help you also cover, you can try and cover up your low performance in undergrad or 10th or 12th if you have stellar GMAT or GRE score. So although, as I will repeat again, that GMAT GRE is not the only factor. So then there is WorkX. So WorkX, it is not necessary that you should have been the boss, you should have been the leader, or you should have worked for big corporates. The WorkX is all about what kind of change, what kind of significant contribution have you been able to make in the workplace that you were there pre-ISB. So it may be a small company. You may not be in a leadership role. You may have got executive experience. But even then, if you have made some significant achievements, significant contribution to the workplace, you have brought about some transition, some change at your workplace, just put across that point. So standouts, I would say, look at all these 6 factors. There are some things that you can change. Like as I said, you can still work on your GMAT GRE scores. You can work on your essays. There are things that you can't change. Like you can't go back to 10th and 12th and change your percentage scores there. So, might as well try and focus on the activities, the variables that are still in your control. So whether it's writing the essays, getting a good score, putting across your points well, focus on the variables that are still in your control. Ananya asks me about the YLP admission process. Unfortunately, Ananya, I have not been able to interact with the YLP candidates here right now, although we are all part of the same PGP course. But I'm sure you can find more on YLP on our website. And maybe, in the next round when we have this kind of session, I'll try to get some insight from the YLP candidates as well. Any suggestions for profile building in terms of non-academic things? So yeah, as I said, show your extracurricular achievements. You may have been really good at some sports. You may have some great passions in your life, hobbies in your life. You may be a great musician. But just not just being a great musician or a sports person, what have you achieved in that passion, through that hobby of yours also matters. So what kind of awards and recognitions uh, that have come to you in those areas of interest for you, those need to be highlighted. Okay, some people are asking me to show the student village, the social accommodations that we have. So let me put on the mask again as I take you along to the next journey. All right. The meals are paid for. Meals are not free. Someone asks, yeah, Top Queen meals are not free. You have to pay for it. But of course, these are, since it's a college, since a B school, it's very subsidized. Like it's very reasonable rates. How can we make a profile good? I just spoke about the 6 pillars, the variables that are still in your control, work on them. Avni, can you apply with provisional degree? I think yes, shouldn't be a problem, but you can just confirm this with the official PGP ID, email ID that I just mentioned, pgp at the rate isb.edu. So guys, that is one of the student villages, as we call it, SV, at ISB Mohali. So I think this is made up mostly of the studio apartments that we have at ISB. So there are two kinds of accommodations. One is the studio accommodation, which is, uh, like for generally for families, but although there are people who take it up as an individual also. So it's like a 1 BHK apartment in itself, and you have mostly all the facilities that you can ask for in an apartment. The other type of accommodation is what we call quad accommodations, where there are 4 separate bedrooms in one apartment, and 4 people, of course. So each person gets their own room at ISB. Whether you stay in studio or you stay in quads, you will have access to your own separate bedroom. Any tips? Okay, what are the standouts? I've answered this. Round 1 versus round 2. Yeah, there's no difference between round 1 and round 2. It's practically the same. You just have to see when you are ready to apply. The chances of getting in are completely dependent on your application or your overall profile. You just have to see when you are ready for it. So yeah, I'm in one of the studios. I'm in one of the social villages. So these are my friends. That's Pancha and that's Sakshi. See you guys. And we are now looking at another social village. This is the other wing of social village. So we don't call it hostels here, we call it social village. This is where the people stay. This is the other side of our campus. Okay, that's a very straightforward question. How old are you? I guess I'm not gonna answer that. You can probably do a little bit of searching and browsing on the internet about me. Maybe that'll get you the answer, but I'd rather skip this question. And anyways, at ISB, age has never been a problem. Whether you'll find there are people with as high as 20 years of work ex. That's the upper limit, and there are people with 2 to 4 years of work ex also. So no matter which age you are at is not a problem, but there should just be a rationale to why are you applying to ISB at this stage in your life and at this stage in your career. How much percentage of people get the international placements? Priyanka, you can check this on the ISB website. There's a placement report, detailed placement report, which can tell you about the whole scenario, not just international placements, but otherwise also. Avni, to connect with the admissions team, the best way to reach out is just write a mail to pgp@isb.edu. Uh, that's the way you can reach out for any queries. Okay, Sakshi likes the campus background. Thanks, Sakshi. What is your answer for what you can do for ISB? Jayant, that's a good question. So, Jayant, you have to, provide response as to what kind of activities that you will engage in. But see, the whole ecosystem at ISB is, honestly, I'm telling you, managed in a lot of ways by the student community. So there is a graduate student board in place, which coordinates with the ISB authorities on the ongoings. So whether it's placements, whether it's managing the general operations, the food, the mess, in a lot of ways, the student community is involved. And in fact, here at Mohali, I think there are at least 50 to 100 people who are in the various student committees of events, the clubs, the social clubs, the professional clubs. So there are professional clubs like marketing club, consulting club, BTC, manufacturing operations club. You can be a part of any club that you want. You can hold a POR, that is position of responsibility, and you can contribute, give back to the college. You can do something for the cohort, rest of the cohort. So you have to speak on those points. What can you do while you are a part of the student community? So maybe you can join the music club, or you can join the sports club as the president or as an events coordinator, or you can join one of the professional clubs. You can join the GSB, but it should relate to something that you have been doing. It should relate to what kind of interest that you have in general. Okay, Devya, Devya, what is the average GMAT score that we should aim for? Devya, there is no such thing as like a, or rather, I would say, there's no good or bad GMAT score. You can check out the range on the ISB website. We have had people in the ISB PGP cohort from 580 in GMAT to 770. So that's the wide range of applicants that we have in terms of their GMAT scores. So GMAT score will not be an impediment for you, although it's a very important factor of your application, but it's not the sole factor. How quant heavy is the course? Sajan. Okay, I think I'll answer this question honestly. So, since I also come from law background, I have not had a lot of interaction with maths in the past few years. So, yeah, it does become a little difficult to cope with some subjects, some aspects of the curriculum, especially maths and statistics. But overall, I think it's not a complete challenge, because you always have your flatmates, your quaddies, your study group mates to help you out wherever you find any difficulty. In fact, there are a lot of sessions which are taken by our own batchmates. So once the professor has completed the classes, the lessons in the class, there are sessions arranged by our student community, in which our own cohort mates who have had background in those areas, those subjects, they take sessions for us. So I think those sessions have made the process very smooth for me. So yes, I have to devote more time in grasping the quant heavy concepts, the statistics heavy concepts, but eventually you are definitely able to manage it with all the help that you get. Okay, Sakshi says the campus is beautiful. Thanks, Sakshi. At Resource Center, have job vacancy for freshers for library science students. Not something I would know of, Eval. You can probably reach out to the HR department of ISB. All the important contacts are given on the ISB website. Sheetal, can you show the room? Sheetal, my studio is a little far from here, and it'll take a lot of time for me to get there. Maybe next time. Let me give you a glimpse into our studio life also next time. Online interviews, Sajid, mostly all the interviews are likely to happen online. In fact, we also appeared for the interviews online only. So I think you should. And by now, all of us have had a lot of experience with Zoom in general. So I don't think it should be a problem to appear for the interviews online. Do you have to show your profile in round one or round two? It depends on which round you are applying in, Sheetal. So if you're applying in round one, you'll be a part of the round one admission cycle. And same is the case with round two. So you can only apply in one round once a year. So remember that you can't apply twice in a single year. So just be careful. Think when you will be ready. Between the rounds, among the rounds, there is no difference as such. You can apply in any round, and your chances will be good if you have a good application overall. So you have to be confident that I'm turning in a good application. Okay. Shreyas, Shreyas, my batchmate asked me if I'm done with assignment. Shreyas, not yet. Just took a break for doing this session. But I was just telling everyone here who was in the session that how it's been a difficult Sunday with all the assignments and the submission deadlines around the corner. What was your GMAT score? I've answered this. I did not appear for GMAT. I appeared for GRE and my score was 326. Sign yes. Recommendation letter, your LOR is mandatory, and it's one of the most important part of your application. So try and get as good a recommendation as possible. Uh, Ideally, it should be from your reporting manager who has directly managed you. But even if that's not available, you can look for any senior colleague or some superior person who has, or even your clients, or if you've been a self-employed professional, anyone who can write you a good recommendation. So you are the best judge of that. But if you have any queries, you can definitely write into us. Varun, I think you are late to the party. I am in the ISB Mohali campus. This is the campus that you see in my background is ISB Mohali. Uh, okay, how's Motown? Rishabh, I wonder how do you know that term? So yeah, we at the ISB Mohali campus fondly call this place as Motown. That's Mohali town. So Motown is great. I still wonder how you know about this town. What are the minimum marks required in undergrad? There is no such minimum requirement as such. It should be a. It depends on what degree, what college you are from, what university you're from. You'll be compared to the scale that was prevalent in your university. Yes, Lokesh, a process of elective selection. Yes. So at the start of the year, Lokesh, you are given bidding points, and most of the a lot of things at ISB that you choose to do happens through bidding. So there's something called ELP, Experiential Learning Program. It's sort of an internship, but in that basically you take up a project, a specific project for a company, and you have to finish it within a stipulated time. So a lot of big companies, corporates come to ISB to offer the ELP course, the ELP program. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, these if you've performed well in these ELPs, you can also look at placements, placement or pre-placement opportunities through a successful ELP. So you bid on the ELPs. You decide. So you have fixed amount of points. You have to budget those points well during the year. You have to decide how many points to put into ELP, how many points to put into foreign exchange. So ISB also has student exchange programs with renowned B schools in the world. So you have to bid for those as well. And same is the case with electives. So electives are the subjects that you want to choose and study with greater depth. So you have to choose your electives also through bidding, and there's like an auction process in it. Varun, who's my favorite professor? So Varun, so far we've had only one term. We are into our second term right now. But yeah, in the term one, we've been taught by some really great professors. I remember particularly Professor McAnally from she used to teach us accounts, uh, accountancy. FADM, the subject was called. And there was Professor Abhinav Uppal, who also is in the ISB Mohali campus. He taught us marketing. So these are the two professors that I've really liked so far. No, Sheetal. So there is 3 rounds of admission cycle which are independent in themselves. In each round, there is a two-stage process. First, you submit your application and you get a call for interview. The second stage is the interview. So every round in itself has 2 stages of the admission process, which is independent from the other 2 rounds. Average work ex, I think, Rohit, is around 4 years, 4.5 years in our batch, which is the has been the case in PGP every year. Uh, but you if you want, you can actually check out more details on the demographics of each batch, like and I think ISB prides itself in offering the best demographic diversity as well. 40%, I think, of us, which is probably one of the highest proportion in India, are women. So rest 60% are male. There are 40% female candidates, and I think similar statistics are there for engineers versus non-engineers. I think 37% of us are non-engineers. So ISB tries to keep the diversity factor really high, and the process is that way very super selective. So I'm sure that you might also be wondering right now whether I'll really get into this dream B school or not. Trust me, if everything is aligned well and you have been consistent, you have been smart, you have been hardworking, uh, I don't think there's nothing else that can stop you. So just believe in yourself. You have to first believe in yourself that I can get into ISB. Only ISB will then believe that okay, let's take the student into our cohort. So first you have to believe in yourself. What are the fees and rents for the accommodation at ISB, Priyanka? I think you can check this on their fee structure on the website, and there's also a lot of details on the scholarship loans. So you can check out the various particulars of ISB fees there. Varun, I hope, yes, we'll probably have corporate or work treks for the batch of 22. If the situation, allows, the situation permits. As of now, you might be seeing that, overall the situation in the country so far looks hopeful and positive. So fingers crossed, if everything goes well, maybe, why not? Maybe we'll have corporate treks as well. Can you please explain in detail about how to prepare for effective essay writing and LOR? Anil, so try and understand the questions really well. What is it that ISB wants to hear from you? A lot of people misconstrue the questions. They are not very sure as to what exactly is being asked. So, firstly, break up the question into pieces. Um, I remember in my time, I spent at least a couple of hours in trying to understand what should be the elements of my response to the question asked based on what is being asked. Okay. The second step for you is to uh, introspect, deep dive into your past, see what are the highlights, what are the stories that you want to put in that string your story together. So you have to have a very coherent story in terms of your short-term goals, long-term goals, where you have been, what have you achieved where you were, right? So it's not a very difficult task. It's not a very difficult task. What is actually difficult is to stay within the word limit and try to say everything that you're trying to say in that given word limit. So a lot of us can write elaborate stories about why we want to do an MBA, what are our goals, or what we have done in the past. But how do you make that concise? How do you remain within your word limit and still put across the points that you want to say really well? That's what makes all the difference. LOR at ISB, is something that you cannot do a lot about. Most of the questions are objective. What you can do from your side is to look for a person who can actually write you a good LOR, someone who has closely observed you, someone who has closely managed you, someone who can speak from a position of authority about your work style, your management. Irva, without WorkX, do I have a shot at ISB? Yes, why not? You can look at the early entry option or the YLP option for admit at ISB. These are for people who have less than 2 years or no WorkX at all. So just check it out. Which is this? Which is the category that you fall in, and accordingly apply. Do go for it. Aryan Khanna, good to see you here as well, brother. So Aryan was one of my students back in Bombay, where I was training. So good to see you here, Aryan. After all the 3 rounds are over, they announce results at once. Not really. I think it happens round wise. Firstly, I think for the round one, the results are expected in December itself. For round two, it might go into somewhere around March or April. Are there elective subjects which are available only in Hyderabad and people in Mohali attend those classes virtually? I doubt that, Lokesh. As of now, for all of us, classes are online. So, although we are on campus, the respective state governments have not allowed for offline classes yet. So, although we are in campus, but we are still attending our classes online. And in terms of electives, as I said, ISB makes it. Ensures that no matter what, same experience is offered across both the campuses. So you'll find the same elective subjects across the two campuses, no difference. Okay, so I guess, guys, I'm running short of time here. We started this session at 5 p.m. and it's already 6. So I'll just take a last 2-3 questions. Sorry if I've not been able to answer all your queries today. I tried my best to take up as unique questions as possible, and I hope I have given you some glimpse into the ISB campus life. Thanks, Sheetal, for your congratulations. I would say this once again that it seems very difficult, very overwhelming when you actually start planning your MBA and when you start aspiring for getting into ISB. You feel so overwhelmed with all the work that you have to do. One thing that I used to suggest, even when I was mentoring students for other entrance tests during my time in Bombay, one word: consistency. It's not about how hard you work throughout the year or throughout a certain time period. It's about working daily, doing something daily. So whether it's your Gmat GRE preparation, whether it's building your application, just make sure you take out each day certain amount of time each and every day without fail. So my GRE preparation, if I'm to talk to you about my GRE preparation, I was not studying for hours every day. I was not slogging for hours daily, but I made sure that before I go to bed, I have at least done a few questions, even if it's just for 30 to 45 minutes, but I managed to stay consistent. So at least 5 to 6 days of the week I was preparing, I was doing something on a daily basis. And let me tell you, consistency can do wonders for you. And it's not about just achieving the goal of ISB, getting into your dream college. This applies to every goal that you have in your life. Consistency, discipline, that's what matters. Do a little bit every day. Okay, so AWS course, I think, is a part of the process, but although AW is not the most important component of your GMAT score, mostly it's the verbal section and the quant section that contributes to your overall performance evaluation. But try and be above the average at least. Like do not completely falter on your AWA. Placements, Anil. So I think only today we had a session with our placement committee. By the way, the placements at ISB are so well managed. There's a completely professional team. There's a huge professional team at ISB, which we call Career Advancement Services Team, CAS in short. So we had a session with them today. These are full-time professionals at ISB who are, continuously in touch with the industry, who are continuously interacting with the big corporates who have been coming to ISB every year for placements. They manage the entire placement process through the year. They are also assisted by the student body, which we call CAC, Career Advancement Council at ISB. So both of these, the CAC and the CAS, work towards in together in getting many companies on for placements and every year. And just see the diversity in the portfolio. Whether it's consulting, product management, marketing, sales. IT, whichever industry, whichever function that you can think of, HR, operations, and you'll find a role being offered at ISB. So just go through the placement reports once. You'll be amazed by the number of offers that we get here, number of companies that come to ISB. And I think the year of 2021, which was supposedly, one of the down years in our economy because of the lockdowns, even then ISB has managed to place almost entirety of its batch. There has been 98 point something percent placed right from the campus, and the remaining people were also able to find placements eventually. And in fact, the average placement at ISB this year has gone up to upwards of 28 lakhs per annum. So the figures are really exciting for us, and we, the class of 22, are also very optimistic, hopeful about. And now though the economy is even opening up even more, many opportunities are coming up, especially the way technology has taken over in the last couple of years. We are seeing a complete transition in every sector, every industry, every company that we are seeing. And there's just no scarcity of the roles and the things that you can do. All right. So I think let me close it here. I think it was a fantastic session. It was great interacting with you all today. I hope you also enjoy the session with me. I hope you enjoy the campus tour with me. And hopefully, if things get better very soon, maybe you will also be able to visit the campus, one of the two campuses, sometime in person. But till then, I would leave you with this thought. If you have made up your mind, if you really wish to get into an MBA and you want to get into ISB, start early, start now. Don't think, I'll do this in 22, 23, 24. There is a special type of program admission process for people with less than 2 years work ex, more than 2 years work ex. Think which category you fall into, and if you are wanting to apply, planning to apply, start as early as possible and just be consistent. Whether it's your GMAT prep, GRE prep, just be consistent, do a little bit daily. And what happens is, when you don't plan for like a long period, you make sure that you are doing your bit on a day-to-day basis. You stand on the other side of, let's say, a month or 2 months, and you realize how far you have come. So this happened with my GRE preparation. Like, I did not have a very solid plan as such, like how will I prepare every week, but I used to take it each day as it comes, and I made sure that every day I do something towards my preparation. So I think that should help you also. Just be consistent, be focused, and maybe I look forward to see some of you in the next class of 23 at ISB PGP. So thank you so much, guys. It was a great session. I wish you all a happy Sunday ahead, and all the very best for your career, for your future ahead. And yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Daksh Mitra. You can find me on LinkedIn, and feel free to drop a message in case you want to discuss anything else. And for any other queries pertaining to the admission process, scholarship, anything that comes to your mind, feel free to write into pgp@isb.edu. Right? So thank you so much, guys. This is me bidding you goodbye from ISB Mohali. Thank you for joining in today. Bye bye.